Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Elevating Your Life. So happy to have you with us today. I am so excited to share my awesome guest with you today. I have to share with you Laurel Stuart. She is a licensed acupuncturist, massage therapist, and yoga therapist. She has practiced acupuncture for more than 10 years and taught yoga for over 15. Laurel is a naturalized Canadian, originally from the beautiful Caribbean island of Barbados. She now lives and works in Canada, where she owns a small acupuncture and massage clinic. She is the author of Energetic Anatomy Made Easy. Her quest for better health began at an early age. She started to explore yoga as a tool for longevity and vitality in her late teens. In 2006, she opened one of the first yoga studios in Barbados. Today, she is the founder of Vibrational Yin, a form of yin yoga that incorporates the stimulation of acupoints primarily using sound. I love that. So anyway, welcome. Welcome to the show, Laurel.
Thank you, Paula, for having me.
Oh, so happy to have you here. Well, I would love to dive in on, basically your book, The Energetic Anatomy. I mean, share what triggered you to write that and, what you feel is some of the basics and most important things to know about our energetic anatomy.
Well, Energetic Anatomy Made Easy started with my own curiosity. I wanted to know how knowledge of our energy could be used in practical ways. How does it benefit me?
I love it.
So I started to study, and energetic anatomy can be quite abstract. So I started to study a lot, and I started to teach and implement it in my own work. And then I went on to study traditional Chinese medicine, which is more energy medicine. So I started to wonder, how do these two energetic systems relate? Because energy by nature is fluid. So they're both valid in that they both offer benefits. But how can we combine them? Can we see what's similar about them? So that's what led to writing the book. Energetic Anatomy was written for people who know nothing, for people who know a little, and for people who feel stuck in their understanding of energy. It was written so that those folks hopefully could understand more about their energy.
Yes, yes. So for those that really are hearing the words energetic anatomy for the first time, break that down for us and tell us, what's behind that?
So anatomy is the branch of knowledge concerned with the structure of living organisms. So energetic anatomy looks at the structure of our energy. And in Energetic Anatomy Made Easy, I look at the structure of our energy from two different schools of thought, from yogic principles, which are from South Asia, and from Taoist principles, which are from East Asia, and Taoist principles you'll find in traditional Chinese medicine.
I love it. How do our chakras come into play here?
So our chakras are an aspect of yogic philosophies. We find them in yoga. And it's important to know that chakra is actually more of a Western term that comes from the Sanskrit term chakra. And the chakras were traditionally focal points along the midline of our bodies used for meditation. But in the West, when we look at the chakras, there's now a psychological component. It's also quite important to know that different schools emphasize specific chakras. So some schools emphasized 5, some schools emphasize 7, Some emphasize 6 and consider the 7th chakra as the goal. So it's really important to understand that energy is quite fluid. And I think that kind of confuses people sometimes. But because it is abstract, doesn't mean that it does not hold validity for us. Doesn't mean that it cannot be practical.
Yes, yes. So, would you say that working with our chakras, keeping them in balance and realizing, I've always believed they each have their own particular, let's say, job of what they do in our energetic system. And that's always fascinated me.
I totally agree. So especially in the West, each chakra is associated with specific parts of our body. And if we can, when we influence our energy, we influence our physical, our mental, and emotional health. Because the energy, our energetic body is deeply intertwined with our physical body. In our existence in these bodies, they are quite intertwined. And what we do to influence our physical, our energy, our physical body, or our energetic body will influence the other bodies in turn.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? And
yes, it is.
our energy field can tell our DNA what to do. I mean, it can really influence our physical body, can't it?
Yes, it can. So that's why it's so important to be aware of our energy.
Yes. And so what would you say with being aware of our energy, what steps can someone take to be aware of it, take care of it, have it be a positive step in our health and our emotions?
Making time for self-care is very important. Self-care takes us back to our true self. Self-care gives us an opportunity to become aware and also to start to realign our energy centers so that they're more balanced. In traditional Chinese medicine, good health is all about having balance in our lives.
Yes, yes. And something you've shared is that there's 3 easy ways to ground yourself, to create that inner calm. Tell us about that.
Well, I can't quite remember, but I'll tell you a few that I know offhand. Grounding, spending time outdoors, having our feet in the soil, as long as that soil is healthy. Spending time in nature,
Yeah.
connecting to the energies of nature, because the energies of nature, they're aligned. For the most part, they're balanced. And they help to balance our vibration as well. Our breath is the simplest tool that can help us ground and help us become more balanced.
Yeah.
Deep breathing, placing your hands on your abdomen and feeling as you inhale for the abdomen expanding, and just becoming really fascinated on the quality of your breath, the sound of your breath. Because if your breath is quite edgy, it affects the mind. The breath is the link between our energy and our physical body. So we can use the breath as a tool to ground and create balance through our entire system.
And isn't that a wonderful thing?
Beautiful. We don't have to go anywhere to get
Yes.
breath.
Yes.
It is something that is available to us always.
Yes. And it's something so simple, but yet so powerful.
Very profound.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, breath is big. And tell us a little bit about acupuncture. I've had that over the years. Absolutely loved it. I think it's amazing. Describe that for those that don't know about that.
So acupuncture involves inserting needles into the body superficially to influence the energy of the body to create better health. The needles are inserted into acupuncture points. The acupuncture points are points along the meridian. So the meridian is a channel of energy in our body. These channels are located, most of them are located superficially, and they connect with the organs inside of our body. So imagine the meridians like a highway, and the acupuncture points are like pit stops along the highway where we go get something to eat, or maybe fill up the car with gas, where we recharge. From a Western point of view, when we insert the needles, it affects our nervous system in a way that encourages wellness.
Wow.
And you don't necessarily have to use needles. You can press on points. That can also be effective. And you can also use vibration to stimulate the acupuncture points. So knowing a few acupuncture points is always good.
Yes, yes. And would you say, I'm a big fan of sound healing, like my crystal bowl, things like that. How does that come into play as well?
So we are all beings, we all vibrate. When they look at the atom, it's this vibration. We are all energy. And when we work with the tuning forks, we introduce, or even music, we introduce specific frequencies into our physical body and our emotional bodies that have an effect on our well-being. So think about times when you feel really tired or down, and you turn on your favorite music and it gets you moving.
Yes.
Or maybe you're feeling a bit sad and you listen to something sorrowful that helps you to cry and release that emotion. Because I do believe that emotions are meant to be transitory. We don't want to hold on to emotion for a very long period of time. So sometimes music can help us process some of the things that we're dealing with in life.
Oh, yes, I love that. Oh, let the music just process what emotions and what we're feeling and
Sometimes the music can touch us. So the music from like just the radio or tuning forks or like any kind of sound healing tool, it can penetrate deeper than words can.
that is so true. That is so true. And in your book, you mentioned we are filled with a rainbow of energies that give depth and meaning to our lives. Tell us a little more about that.
So when I wrote that, I was thinking specifically of the chakras and how each chakra is associated with specific energies and a specific color, a specific vibration of light. So we are filled with all of these energies. And when we know more about these energies, we're more aware of what's happening. And that allows us to change anything that anything in our energy that doesn't feel quite right. So knowing about these different colors, like sometimes like I work with clients, and everybody is different. So everybody feels and senses things differently. But sometimes I work with clients and there's a specific issue that they're going through. And let's say the root chakra, for example, which is associated with the color red. And when we start to work and they sense the area is like, oh, it's a really dull, kind of very dark red. And then sometimes after the work that we do, it's like, oh my goodness, it's such a beautiful red now. So we're all filled with this light, and the ability to sense what's happening inside, it builds the more that we focus on it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So then how does foods come into play? For example, what foods might strengthen my root chakra?
Okay, so foods affect our physical body and also our emotional body. So foods, because our physical body is so deeply connected to our energetic body, we can influence the health of the physical body using food to influence the energetic body. And we know this on a subconscious level. When we're tired, all right, I need to eat to lift our energy. So when we think of the root chakra, we look at issues dealing with balance and safety. So then we think, well, what foods encourage safety? What foods encourage a sense of balance? And for each of us, it can be different. So but one category for the root chakra is our tribal food, the food that we grew up eating, the food that our caretakers fed to us that make us felt protected and loved, or sated, or grounded.
Wow.
So foods that are calming and rich and filling. Now, that's not to say that, like, I had one conversation with a guy, and it was like, oh, mashed potatoes. And a small bowl of mashed potatoes is good. I'm not encouraging you to constantly eat mashed potatoes in a huge bowl,
Yummy, yummy.
but just a little bit, because it's all about moderation and it's all about creating balance.
Yeah.
So a little bit is fine.
And it's so true that as individuals, we can have our favorite foods. And when we eat that, it's like, we're so happy.
And feel balanced.
Yes, that is so cool. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Oh, in your book, you share a lot of really great recipes. Some really great recipes in there.
Thank you, Paula.
What triggered you to do that? I mean, that was a beautiful addition to the book. It really was.
Because energetic anatomy made easy should be practical. So how do our foods influence our energy? I thought was really important to include. And to be honest, that was one of the most difficult parts for me, writing the recipes, because I'm the type of cook that I just throw things in pot. So having to document things and make sure that it was working was a bit difficult for me. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun.
Yes. Oh, I bet it was, and some great recipes. And I do have to mention, you also mentioned affirmation. I'm a big fan of my morning affirmations. Tell us about affirmations and what they can positively do for our health.
So our thoughts are energy, and our affirmations can encourage well-being in specific areas of our body by changing our thoughts. So when we have an affirmation, it's a positive thought and it has to be believable to us so that we more embrace it. And it's this small neural pathway in our brain. And the more we say it, the bigger it becomes until it's like, oh, that is reality for me now.
Yeah.
That has improved my energy, but it has to be believable. I think sometimes people might say someone coping with issues of self-worth and beauty, they might not be able to see that or say that I am beautiful, but they can say, hey, I have lovely eyes, or I have a beautiful smile, or I like the way my hair looks today. We start with small things, and that changes our energy, which has the ability over time to impact our physical health.
Yeah. And that belief part of it, that's huge, isn't it? If we don't believe it, we're really just saying words,
Yes.
The belief
Because I
kind
think
of
when we
brings
don't
it
believe it,
inside us. Wow.
yes. I think when we don't believe it, there's like a secondary thought, like somewhere in the back of our head, like, I don't really believe this. So
Mhm.
there's two neural pathways now fighting with each other. But if you make it believable, then it's just that one thought that's being strengthened.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. Oh, so tell us a bit about the work you do with your yoga. For instance, what, there's yin and yang. Describe that a little bit for us, for those of us that don't know what that means.
So yin and yang are two sides of the same coin. They are Chinese concepts used to describe everything in the universe. Yin is more meditative, soft, it's associated with night, it's associated with water. Yang is associated with activity, being rapid, associated with fire and the sun and daylight. And we need both for balance. So it comes down again to that tenet in traditional Chinese medicine that good health comes through balance, balancing yin and yang. And sometimes we need more of yin, depending on what's happening in our lives. And sometimes we need more of yang. So in each chapter, there's a yin and yang yoga section. Because some days you're not up to yin, but you still want to work on a specific energy center, or you're not up to yang. So you have a choice.
Wow. And we have so many choices along this line, don't we? In
Yes.
how we proceed with our energy, how we connect to it, how we, grow. And I mean, it's really fascinating and really exciting. It makes you feel good to know what we as individuals can do so much, can't we?
Yes, we can do so much. And I think energetic anatomy made easy is just a small offering. There's so many great books out there. There's so many great practices, but energetic anatomy made easy. I hope it gives people just an idea of what they can do.
Yeah, yeah. Would it be good to, if we're going through certain things of our lives or this or that, should we kind of focus on a certain chakra or just kind of focus on all of them, keeping them in balance? What do you recommend for just
Everybody's,
helping our chakras?
everyone is unique, and everyone will, our paths are all different. So some people may need to focus on that specific energy center. And some people may need to work with 2 or 3 or maybe all of the energy centers. Like maybe focusing on one energy center every day of the week, or maybe focusing on the specific energy centers associated with whatever is going on in their lives for maybe an entire week or an entire month. So everyone is different, and that is a very, I think, a very personal question that we must ask ourselves.
Nice, nice. Because
And we can always talk to someone more educated than us for ideas, but again, we must learn to listen to ourselves.
oh, yeah, very good point. Listen to ourselves, to our bodies. That's huge, isn't it?
Is very important.
Yeah. And that's something that we can do, we can learn. And, I believe, being a big fan of affirmations, I believe that right there is a gift I give myself every morning.
It's a beautiful gift.
Yeah, yeah. And there's, a lot of little things like that we can do, the deep breaths, the breathing, the nature, it's really exciting to realize we can do that for ourselves. Do you
Yeah, I
see
don't think,
this? Go ahead.
sorry, I think sometimes we don't realize how important those little things are. at creating change.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can get caught up on these big things that we have to accomplish, but those little everyday things can be huge, can't they?
They can add up, and just by themselves, they can create a lot of difference.
Yes, yes. And that's just something to celebrate. I love it. I am wondering, do you see yourself writing another book, Laurel?
I do. I have another book project
Oh,
in the future that looks more at vibrational yin, which is combining yoga with acupressure or sound acupuncture for specific ailments and just for general preventative health. So yes, I do
oh,
see.
I look forward to that.
Thank
Oh,
you, Paula.
fantastic. Well, with a few minutes left in the show, what last words do you want to give to everyone? What message do you want to leave us with today?
I want to say that our natural state is one of peace, one of contentment. And life sometimes can throw us out of balance, but there are simple things we can do to move closer towards our true state.
Oh, I love that. Give us some examples. We've discussed a few things, but share those again. A few little steps that someone could do today to start that in motion.
Focusing on our breathing, practicing gratitude and acceptance. Our perspective can do so much for us, having a positive perspective,
Mm, so
seeing the cup as half full instead of half empty.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And please share with everyone your website and information and how they, where they can learn more about you.
You can find me at dracumassage.com. That's DRACUMASSAGE.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Dr. Acumassage.
Oh, Laurel, you have been just a pleasure and a joy to have on the show. I'm really grateful. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much. Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome, dear. Love, hugs, and blessings. Everybody out there, love, hugs, and blessings. And here's to loving ourselves and happy chakras. I love it. Oh, goodbye, everyone.